One of the most disturbing parts of the recent Epstein-related DOJ document release involves the diary of a girl who was only 16 years old at the time. What she wrote during those years paints a deeply unsettling picture of alleged abuse by Jeffrey Epstein and people connected to him. Rather than looking at these crimes in the abstract, focusing on a single victim's experience forces us to confront the real horror of what may have taken place. This is not just about numbers or accusations. It is about a young girl's lived reality, recorded in her own words while the abuse was allegedly happening. According to the documents, the diary itself can still be found online. In it, the girl wrote entries in coded language, but the meaning was reportedly easy to understand. What I'm referencing here comes from FBI interpretations of those diary entries. At the time, the girl was 16 years old. She is now much older. The documents state that she has autism and mosaic Down syndrome, a rare condition that gave her some characteristics of Down syndrome without affecting her physical appearance. In her diary, she even mentions her autism and everyday observations, including how she appreciated Spirit Airlines because it made accommodations for autistic people, small details that make her humanity undeniable. The documents suggest she was targeted because those around Epstein believed her condition made her easier to exploit. She was reportedly described repeatedly as beautiful, with blonde hair and blue eyes, compared to a porcelain doll. The idea that vulnerability was allegedly seen as an advantage is especially disturbing. In her diary, she wrote about becoming pregnant multiple times. In some instances, she described being forced to undergo abortions. In other cases, she claimed she gave birth. If justice truly mattered, one would ask what happened to those children. According to what is publicly known, there are no clear answers. One FBI-interpreted diary entry reads, like a reference to a pregnancy test, 2 pink lines, followed by despair. She wrote about wanting to die and questioned why no one protected her. She appeared to be referring to Ghislaine Maxwell, who is mentioned throughout the diary as someone who sometimes protected her and sometimes did not. She wrote that as long as she wore what she was told to wear, she was not treated as a human being. She described herself as property, as an incubator, someone only trusted when under total control, while others took everything from her. Her words described complete emotional destruction. She wrote that terror forced her to give everything. In one passage, she wrote about a baby she loved deeply, but could not bring herself to fully describe what happened. She said she was only allowed 10 to 15 minutes to hold and feed the child before the baby was taken away. She wrote that the baby was hers and that she wanted her back. The grief in those words is unmistakable. None of this was ever tested in a courtroom. That matters. Names appear later, and conclusions must be approached cautiously. Still, this diary comes from a direct alleged victim, which gives it weight, even if not legal resolution. She also described one abortion in chilling detail. She wrote about being told to close her eyes and remain silent. She described shaking uncontrollably, pain, blood, instruments, and a doctor she believed was from Israel. She wrote that Ghislaine told her to push the pain away. She described hearing tiny cries, seeing a small body through fingers covering her eyes, and then forcing herself to stop looking. Throughout the diary, there are repeated pleas for help, begging someone to find her, to save her, to release her from what she called hell. What is striking is how little attention these specific diary entries have received in mainstream media. Many people online have read them, yet major outlets have largely avoided discussing them in detail. As a result, 2 realities exist at the same time. One where people are aware of the alleged horrors, and another where people remain largely unaware of what is being claimed. Without a court ruling, it is impossible to know every detail with certainty. The broader account could be accurate, while some details could be wrong. That uncertainty must be acknowledged. Still, hiding the information entirely is not the answer. The diary does name individuals. One of the first mentioned is Jean-Luc Brunel, who allegedly died by suicide in prison. In her diary, she accused him of supplying girls to Epstein and described him in deeply negative, emotional terms. She wrote about punishment for trying to escape, about being sent back, about feeling abandoned, lost, and broken. Brunel was reportedly involved in the modeling industry and, according to allegations, became part of a system that funneled underage girls to powerful people. Names mentioned in the broader discussion include politicians and public figures, though again, these allegations were never fully tested in court. If anyone is falsely accused of crimes this severe, they deserve the chance to clear their name. And if these accusations are true, justice has been profoundly denied. The tragedy is that so far, neither has happened.